What is going on, members of the Shy Guy Squad? My name is Dan, otherwise known as Danekii, and welcome to a bit of a special video here on the channel. We're doing a draft analysis for the NPL Minors tournament. Wow, that's been a while ago. But we did indeed get into the NPL Minors, and we've had our draft. So we're going to run over our team, what we have. And because I'm not like the greatest at analyzing my team and stuff, I've got some help from someone I know who is really good and have helped me a lot team building in leagues like the IBL Alolan League. Here is my friend AsтерJ.
What's up, guys? This is Aster. I'm here to help Dan today with his draft analysis, seeing as I helped him out with a lot of his picks actually during the draft. So we're going to be going over his team, and he's got a pretty good team, honestly, in my opinion.
I'm rather happy with it. Let me see if I can move this in a little bit to the... Let's see. No, that would be wrong. I guess I'll have to... I guess I could crop it from here, but that would be look weird. I guess... Hold on, let me see. I'm very good at this. I have
no idea what you're doing, so...
I'm currently trying to move in the thing. So live editing here to 750. There we go. That should look nice, and now we can at least see it a little bit better. Let me see if I can move it a little bit more up. I think I can do that a little bit more, like up 500. Oh, that's not top. That's the wrong one. 65 there. I'm looking for bottom. That's the one I want up. Hold on. I'm good at this. There we go. That's better. Much better. So our first overall pick. That was a minute of messing around, but you know what? It's fine. We'll keep it in because it's fun. Adds entertainment value.
That's fine. So you were picking 10th, right?
I was 10th pick, and to be honest, I wish I was a bit earlier, but then again, I guess I can't complain too much. I ended up with a really solid pick, and the first mon I decided to pick up was Mega Lopunny.
Yeah, we all know what this thing does, don't we? Lopunny is just one of the, it's often regarded as one of the best mons in League format, and there's a very good reason. Nobody has a switch-in. It's very hard to find a switch-in, and if you pair it up with the right partners, then it's so easy to break down checks to Mega Lopunny, so
which, I think that is something I've managed to do.
Game Sweeper.
That is something I feel like I've managed to do with my team as well.
I think so too.
There's a couple things that I probably could have done different, but I feel like I've built a team that can utilize Lopunny's amazing speed stat and its incredible attack stat, as well with the fact that Lopunny has an amazing coverage in terms of its move pool. You got your standards, you got your fake out to get the first turn mega. Now that it isn't as important because it goes from 105 to 135 instantly in Generation 7 as opposed to the Gen 6 having to wait one turn, which is a huge buff for mons like Mega Diancie, for example, and
Mega Guard, yeah,
Mega Guard,
absolutely.
and don't you have one of those megas that also affect this?
Yeah, I have Mega Diancie.
Yeah, you have Mega Diancie, and then there's someone who has Mega Beedrill, which Beedrill got a huge buff this gen,
my God,
with Fell Stinger adaptability and a +3 if it kills with it. So Mega Beedrill is also terrifying. But enough Beedrill. As you guys can see though in the coverage here, we have the standard fake out. There's the fire punches for stuff like that. We also have the thing about Lopunny. Its special attack isn't the best, but if you need to attack on like a little ice beam or something for quad effectives, it can do it rather well. If you're expecting your opponent to bring like a Rocky Helmet, like say for example, in my week 1, my opponent has a Garchomp, which could be Rocky Helmet, Rough Skin to chip down Lopunny. I could have brought Ice Beam on that. I can, maybe not. It depends on what I decide doing. But I can have Ice Beam to hit it without having to take the Rough Skin Rocky Helmet damage, which will wear down my Lopunny more than it will wear down the Garchomp. And then, of course, we have the powerful move in itself, High Jump Kick and Return, the two most common moves on Lopunny. Also has regular priority and quick attack if it needs like a nice pick-off, if you know that like Return can put it in range, or High Jump Kick and you just need like a quick swoop off without losing your Lopunny.
Yeah, fake out was a big thing in Gen 6 because Lopunny needed speed, but it's also still very good now because it is priority spam, so you can go fake out into quick attack. Funny things like if your Lopunny is adamant after rocks, Mega Pinsir is almost 100% guaranteed to die from fake out into quick attack, so you can beat it on the quick attack, on its quick attack, which would normally hit you for super effective damage. And you can take that quick attack pretty well, actually. If they decide to run feint, you're good. So priority spam with Mega Lopunny is amazing. Dan mentioned the punches. It gets Fire Punch, Ice Punch, Thunder Punch, all of those fun things. Also get some interesting stuff like Cosmic Power, Baton Pass. There's fun stuff you can do with Mega Lopunny. You can run Toxic to wear down its checks. And its best trait, of course, is the fact that it has Scrappy, so it's dual stab, completely unresisted across the game, fighting plus normal. So it just hits everything.
No immunities. Your ghost types are not immune to me. And as you guys can see as well from the stats here, I just decided to swoop in a Lopunny here. 136 base attack turns into 408 attack maxed out in the stat. And if I were to go, say, Jolly, for example, that is a speed stat of 405. So an incredibly fast and incredibly threatening Pokemon as our first pick, with some decent natural bulk in terms of defenses of 94 and 96. I actually never noticed that about Lopunny's defenses.
That's the reason it was OU for such a long... Well, in Gen 6, it was always OU because it could switch into things like Landorus's Earthquake. If it wanted to, it could switch into Scalds from Keldeo, for example, if it knew that it could outspeed it on the following turn. It doesn't like getting burned, but it can switch into moves at least once.
That is also another thing to mention now that you actually know. That's nicely brought up. The fact that burn... Lopunny also has Facade, so if there is a status-heavy team you're facing, for me at least, I can also run Facade. So if I get burnt or something from a Scald, I can have a base 140 power Facade ready to go. That's also something too.
Flame Body from Magmortar.
Yeah, if I see Flame Body, I can have Facade ready to go. Like I think a certain someone here did in a another league.
Yup, I wish I had Facade that game, let's just say.
Let's just say. But yeah, so that is Carly Carmine, our Lopunny. So another thing that you'll notice on most of our mons, except for one, because I was talking to Razor and we decided to keep that one. All my mons this season are named after Yu-Gi-Oh! Either characters or monsters.
Nice. Awesome.
So the next pick I got came back to me rather fast, since 10, 11 to 16, and then back to 10. So that went rather fast, but then again, Verd was Australian, so I guess time.
Like forever.
Time zones, but I mean, the pick came back to me pretty fast. So I didn't lose on a lot of stuff. And a rather good partner that I saw to Lopunny was Latios, which is also my first Zmon Pokemon, holding the Dragonium Z right here, just to emphasize that, hey, this is my Zmon.
Yes, now, Mega Lopunny doesn't like opposing fighting types. Latios can relatively switch into most fighting types outside of knockoff. But you never want to be clicking knockoff on a Mega Lopunny. Let me just say that. Latios is, of course, your Zmon. Great coverage overall. Of course, our Z moves in the NPL Minors, we can't use any status Z moves. It's only purely coverage. So things like Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, all of the great coverage that Latios gets, honestly, Shadow Ball, stuff like that.
Draco Meteor.
Very usable. Draco Meteor for devastating Drake. It also gets good physical moves like Shadow Claw, Earthquake, things like that you can use with Z crystals. Those are nice. You need to break down some steel types, things like that. But no, Latios is a great partner. Like I said, Mega Lopunny doesn't like opposing fighting types. Normally, Latios can switch into most fighting types and fire back really hard with Psychic Stab, of course. Able to get rid of them for Mega Lopunny, so that's one of the best ways to deal with Mega Lopunny, of course, is also priority. And things like Aqua Jet, Sucker Punch. Well, not Sucker Punch.
Not Sucker Punch. Right? You don't Sucker Punch a Lopunny, but Mach Punch.
Mach Punch and Aqua Jet specifically, things like that. Yeah, Latios can switch into those.
The only one who deals with them, the god himself, Comfy, and its Draining Kiss.
Yeah.
I'm sad. I wanted Comfy. That's actually one mon that I kind of really wanted in this draft.
You liked it, when you used it?
I grew very attached to it in the IBL.
Yeah.
But yeah, so as I mentioned, also the thing is, Latios' attack is still base 90, so it's nothing to sleep on, and it also has access to Dragon Dance. It has Earthquake, so I can use like Tectonic Rage, for example, if I need like to pick off something like Heatran in a better way than Hidden Power Fighting. There's also Surf, but Earthquake, quad effective and stuff like that. It also has like some nice status like Thunder Wave to slow down opposing mons, Tailwind for support for the rest of my team, because I do have some stuff that is rather slow, and I could run like a support kind of Latios as well, but I mean it's primarily going to be used as an offensive attacker. It's also defog, but
that's something I was going to mention. You're going to need a defogger with some of the stuff that you're picking up later. So
yeah, I'm going to need a defogger for later, but Latios can fill that role if I have room for the move, for example. So that's always nice to have in the back as well. Now, next pick again was, of course, the full round circle, so we had to wait some time, but he was kind of sitting around there, and we were making some fun, and we decided to whip out the Schlong. The Volcanion. Schlong the Volcanion.
Wait, how? Oh, that's what you decided to name it? That's the only one that's not Yu-Gi-Oh!
That's the one that isn't Yu-Gi-Oh! It's Volcanion the Schlong.
What is Latios's nickname?
Stardust. Stardust Dragon from Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds.
Nice.
Yusei Fudo's ace card.
Yep, beautiful. All right, so Volcanion, of course, an amazing wall breaker. Specs or even Scarfed. Its base power moves are really strong in Fire Blast and Steam Eruption, both base 110. Jar ran an interesting set with Sunny Day Flame Charge, I believe it was. There's so many different...
I can see that being very effective.
Yeah, there's a very a lot of really good things you can do with Volcanion. The fact that it gets access to Soul Beam and Superpower means that it can break down things that would otherwise wallet, things like Snorlax, things like Seismitoad, for example, with Solar Beam. And you decided to give this thing a Z Crystal, so
especially
very good choice.
Speaking of like having stuff like Snorlax and Seismitoad blockade, now it does learn Superpower and Solar Beam, but it also then gets access to Bloom Doom and All Out Pummeling, which will most certainly deliver a very devastating blow to the opposing Pokemon. And with Volcanion's base stats in the offense being 110 and 130, there is no Pokemon that takes that well.
Yep.
Also, it has some really nice bulk in 80 HP, 120 defense, and 90 speed F, so it's nothing to sleep on, and its speed is something that I have a couple later Pokemon, a couple picks later that I have to support it, and as Aster mentioned as well, a Scarf set is also rather effective, knowing it, like, base 70 allows it to outspeed Scarfers up in the 120s maybe, I think? I'm not exactly sure on the number. But as you guys can see, if I do like a timid 262, Volcanion right there, and then if I do like a calculus,
it's 393. It's just below Crobat, Tapu Koko, and Jolteon, things like that.
Yeah, so the one it's outpaced by the 130s, so it catches up to a lot of things. So that still shows how much of a threat a Scarf Volcanion can also be.
Yep. Yeah, no, Volcanion is just amazing. I think you're gonna find yourself running specs a lot because it just tears through teams. But there's a lot of different ways to run it. Definitely speak to Jar. If you want to figure out how to use your Volcanion week to week, because he's the best person that I've known that's used it so far.
Is something I'll definitely hit up on. I've also I'm really interested to use Volcanion. It's a lot of fun things that I can imagine this thing doing, which I'm excited for.
Mm-hmm.
So the next pick that I chose, I wanted a fairy. You know, fairies are important in this format, just like dragons, and like the fairy dragon steel core is very important in draft format. And the fairy of choice, I originally wanted like Sylveon and stuff like that, but I decided to let it go to get Volcanion first, and then go back to another fairy if it was around. And luckily for me it was, which was Balowski, the Togekiss.
Balowski.
For those of you who don't know who Balowski is, just a quick reference. In Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, there was one episode where there was this very, I almost want to refer to him as a stoner kid, who was sitting on the roof of Duel Academy, and he had his cards, the Moki cards.
Oh god, yeah.
That is Togekiss, that is Balowski.
Oh my god, amazing.
So that is Togekiss, and you guys, we know Togekiss, you know, Thunder Wave and Air Slash, because what is skill in this game, am I right, or am I right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Togekiss as well, seeing as we needed a proper defogger, Togekiss can fill that role in very nice. It's a very, very good defensive fairy type in terms of, like, you know, fairy type has the very nice defenses in 95 and 115, as well as good natural bulk in 85. Special attack is also something that you can very utilize with Togekiss, and as I mentioned with Latios earlier, it also has Tailwind, so if I need like speed support for my team, like for example with Volcanion, I can do that. Thunder Wave to cripple, and it also has some really, really nice coverage as well.
Yep, great cleric with Wish and Heal Bell. Also gets access to Roost for its own reliable recovery. It gets Air Slash to flinch, Flamethrower for steel types, Aura Sphere for other steel types, such as Heatran, for example. Great Scarfer as well, just like Volcanion, because of Air Slash flinching. Ancient Power boosts are fun.
I was going to see if you missed it and just mentioned that Ancient Power boosts. They are also a thing you can do.
Yeah, I've done that once with Jirachi. It's quite fun. But yeah, no, Togekiss is a great support Pokemon. It's actually kind of funny. Your Fairy Dragon Steel Core all gets rid of hazards, which is Canyon and Lopunny.
And I also find one thing that I want to mention that I've used Togekiss once before in a draft, which was my Hacks draft in NPL Season 1. And one thing that I found that was really funny with Togekiss, if you really want to annoy your opponent, there is the combination of Thunder Wave, Air Slash, and Water Pulse.
Oh my god.
Water Pulse, for those of you who don't know, has a 20% chance for confusion, and with its amazing ability, Serene Grace, that makes it a 40% chance for a confusion. So if you really want to piss your opponent off with Togekiss, there you go. Now keep in mind...
It's a shame. It's a shame that it's...
Water Pulse is like Gen 3 TM transfer, so you're going to have a Togepi from Fire and Leaf Green to transfer it all the way up.
Oh my god.
But that is something to keep in mind if you want a Water Pulse Togekiss.
Yes, sorry for cutting you off before, but I was just going to say that, yeah, unfortunately Confusion's nerfed a little bit this gen, but Togekiss still fills an important role on the team, I feel. And I think you're going to have fun having this thing on your team. It breaks down things for Lopunny that Lopunny otherwise can't. Very defensive Pokemon. Take, for example, Chestnut. Lopunny otherwise can't deal with it.
Air Slash.
Togekiss comes in, Air Slash, gone.
Win.
So... very fun, very fun.
A very fun Pokemon. And if I really want to be feisty, say if I'm either guaranteed like playoffs or something, or I'm knocked out completely, I can run Hustle and just like go Drain Punch, Extreme Speed, just to have fun. And then also another thing that Togekiss can do is also it does a Baton Passer. So I can like pass stats and stuff into other Mons to make them more threatening.
Yeah, Nasty Pass.
Nasty Pass is something I can really utilize on my team. I feel like Nasty Pass on my team is quite terrifying.
Into Scarf Volcanion.
Like into Scarf Volcanion, into Latios, into even some of my later picks. Like for example, one of the picks that we're going over later is like Salazzle.
Wow.
Absolutely,
yeah, that's
absolutely.
crazy.
Nasty Pass from Togekiss on my team is just absolutely amazing, and I'm really happy that I got it. Now the next Pokemon I picked up was to finish that Fairy Dragon Steel Core, and probably one of the more reliable Rapid Spinners in this game that are low tier, Fortress.
Yeah.
Not only
now for quad weakness to fire, a little bit annoying. Yeah, sorry. Quad weakness to fire is a little bit annoying. However, he's not too weak to fire so far. Volcanion takes fire hits. So does Latios, and Togekiss is just ridiculously specially defensive. They pair very nicely with Fortress. On top of that, it's his third mon actually that gives him momentum. He had 2 Baton Passers, but he didn't have U-turn or Volt Switch yet. Fortress is a nice Volt Switcher because the things that typically want to come in on Fortress are things like Scald Spammers and Pokemon not typically ground types. You're not going to have a lot of ground types coming in on Fortress, so it's very easy for it to get right back out. And as a spinner, it's extremely reliable, of course, because of its great defense. It can take on most rockers, most spikers relatively well, as long as we're not talking about anything like Roserade with Hidden Power Fire. It can definitely... Yeah, it can definitely take on most hazard setters, as well as having access to Gyro Ball, Earthquake, things like that. Earthquake for your trappers like Magnezone, Magneton, if they want to switch in, they're gonna get hit pretty hard. So yeah, that's it's a great mon to have, I think.
And then also another reliable thing that Fortress does really, really well is the fact that this thing covers all hazard types except for Sticky Web in terms of Stealth Rocks, Spikes, and Toxic Spikes. So I can fill in any of those roles when needed. And 90 attack is still not bad for Pokemon, so like essentially Heavy Slam from this thing can do a lot of work. It can have like Rock Polish and stuff if I really want to try to be like a little bit funny. And as Aster mentioned, as Aster mentioned earlier as well, Volt Switch for momentum, which is something that is really nice to have like in this format and just Pokemon in general. Is really important to have the momentum on your opponents so that they are more on the defensive and you're on the offensive. And having another way of switching around without having to hard switch is really nice.
Yeah, no, it's a great mod to have, I think, especially for your team. Like I said, your Fairy Dragon Steel Core can all get rid of hazards, which really helps for Volcanion if we're talking about rocks, and really helps for Lopunny if we're talking about spikes. So Fortress is a great thing to have.
And also being able to get rid of Sticky Web, for example, if my opponents decide to bring that.
Yep, exactly.
Now, as we're speaking about Sticky Web,
what did we nickname Fortress?
Wait, hold on. I have this on my actual page. I haven't changed it here yet. My Fortress is properly named after the guy with Ancient Gear Golem and Kaminari the Moving Fortress, Dr. Crowler.
Yeah. Nice.
Dr. Crowler. It was called TikTok, but then we went through the names and changed it to Dr. Crowler.
Yeah, I see all your nicknames now. I'm good. I won't ask you anymore.
Now, as we were going on in the draft here, I mentioned Sticky Web. Now, there is one Pokemon that is very, very good at doing that job, which happens to be a very spider. It's a very good spider. And it is Galvantula. I like spiders. You have Araquanid, you have Galvantula, and I even had Ariados in IBL. I like spiders, man. They're cool. As long as they're not in my room. No. As long as they're not in my room.
Yeah. No, Galvantula is fantastic once again. I don't think you really webs with your team because you have the Mega Lopunny, you have the Latios. I don't think it was a huge issue, but it's always something to have. It's always something to watch out for. It forces prep from an opponent, so that's always fun. Having access to it. Galvantula's dual stabs are really good.
Bug electric plus bug absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's really good. On top of that, it gets access to Energy Ball for ground types and Hidden Power Ice for every other ground type that doesn't get hit super effectively by Energy Ball. So really, really nice Pokemon to have, I think, to break down, I would think lure in ground types, especially for Lopunny and whatnot. So I like Galvantula on your team.
And also, you know, like mentioned with the Bug Electric thing, it gets access to like Bug Buzz, which is amazing for those who try to set up like substitutes on me, for example. Bug Buzz just goes through that because it's a sound-based move. Hidden Power and Energy Ball, like you mentioned. Another Volt Switcher to keep up momentum. Like I have a lot of momentum. I have a big momentum game on my team in Lopunny with Baton Pass, Togekiss with Baton Pass, and now 2 Volt Switchers. Now, of course, my momentum can be stopped by a ground type, but at the same time, with Galvantula, like mentioned, it has Energy Ball and even HP Ice to threaten those ground types, so they're not comfortable switching into Galvantula unless they're like really, really healthy. So that is also something that my opponents have to keep in mind when prepping and stuff like that.
Absolutely. Very accurately named Weevil.
Weevil Underwood, a very sneaky snake of a person.
Yeah. Oh, I love your next nickname. That's amazing.
But yeah, so transitioning over to the 7th Pokemon on my team, which will be on the next row here, is the Grass type Serena. Now, I do realize that like the last 3 picks were like a huge fire weakness. Just like I didn't have a fire weakness. Let's fix that.
Yep. Yeah, so, no, you do, you definitely do, but I think you fix that later on, and
I feel like I make it up for the huge, humongous fire weakness that I created.
Yeah, for sure. I'll let you talk about Serena. You seem to like this pick, and I'll explain why I don't later. Go.
Okay, so another reason why I picked up Serena is first of all, there's a couple sets that I really like doing with Serena. It's an okay Scarfer with its base speed of 72. It has the move Drop Kick, which for those of you who don't know, it has a guaranteed attack drop, and it's the signature move of Serena, which helps her drop the attack of my opponents. On top of that as well, there is Serena is there are a couple more people that don't like utilize Serena that way, and that is that it has this Pokemon is a phenomenal screen Pokemon with its natural bulk in 72, 98, 98. And it also has some really good, like it has some good coverage. It has acrobatics, high jump kick, drop kick, like I mentioned earlier, and stab, U-turn as well to keep up more momentum.
That's it. That's all it gets, by the way.
That's about what it. That's about. And you know, it's like screens and rapid spin and stuff like that. I also play rough. That's also something it gets.
Yeah, I like that it's a rapid spinner. It works well with Togekiss and Volcanion if you don't want to bring Fortress on any given week. I love Drop Kick as a move. I 1v1 to Dragonite with Drop Kick. It's hilarious.
That's hilarious. It's actually hilarious.
Serena's really cool for that. But I mean, other than that, it's really not versatile. It doesn't do too much. I like the screen set. That's a really good. That's a good point. I've never really thought of that. That's going to help out Lopunny more than anything else, really.
Yeah, like support, like a proper screen supporter as well to hide Lopunny with its already good defenses.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing I like the most about Serena is not its name, Alexis Rhodes, but it's the fact that it can't be hit with any sort of priority, which is really cool. Now, if Talonflame still had access to Gale Wings, that would be even better because of priority flying type, but Other than that, like, you can't bullet punch it, you can't extreme speed it, you can't do anything like that to it. So
poor pincer and its quick attacks.
Yeah, exactly. Scizor is forced to U-turn out. It can't hit it with bullet punch unless it wants to run bug bite, in which case it's not a momentum gainer anymore on an opposing team. For example, Serena also gets natural recovery and synthesis. So this is Dan's third mon with natural recovery. Latios,
Roost, and
Serena. Roost, and now synthesis. Yeah, exactly. It's very nice. Sunny Day can help it out with Volcanion.
Can help Volcanion really cool. set up the Sunny Day for the nice and flame charge set.
Exactly, yeah, and it helps out Serena as well, so that's always cool. But it's pretty one-dimensional in general, which is why I don't really like it. I have yet to use it myself in format. I really liked it in UU, but I think it fits okay with your team, I would say.
I think if it's okay, like, I mean, I get you have like a couple points when it comes to the rather one-dimensional. Like, I feel like Serena has like 2 or 3 sets. It's the offensive one, it's the screen support one, and then there's like a regular defensive one. Yeah, and which exactly. It can pull off. But at the same time, I feel like I have the ability to utilize it.
Let's not neglect the fact that it has a super high attack stat.
It has a really high attack stat too, which is why I mentioned the offensive set. It has an attack stat of 120, so it's also adds some nice.
Dangerous like to switch into.
And like mentioned earlier as well, when I brought up the fact of sticky web, for example, like a lot of my team along the line down here starts to become a little bit slower. So with like sticky web and choice bandits arena, that is something to also look out for my opponents while prepping.
Absolutely. And what switches in the best to grass type moves?
Bug types.
And steals, right?
And bug and steel. And high jump kick is for the high jump kicks for them steals.
Volcanion.
I also have Volcanion who just burns those into a crisp.
Exactly. So all of the things that Serena doesn't like taking on, like you can use and like for example on a Scizor, once again Scizor switches into Serena, you turn on it into Volcanion, what switches in?
I was like, oh no. Nothing. Oh no.
Yeah,
and also another reason why I picked up Serena as well is that I saw it was a Pokemon that could fill in the last mon for my like Fire, Water, Grass core in Volcanion and a Grass type. That's also another reason why I picked up Serena. And also, something we missed, Grass types are, as some of you know, like completely immune to Spore. So this is a Spore switch in, for example.
You already had Fortress with Overcoat, but yeah,
but you know, gives you a second. You know, this is a guarantee one all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Fortress is like Overcoat, like then you lose Sturdy, and you know they can have HP Fire and then just OHKO it. So yeah, that's Serena right there. So properly named Alexis Rhodes, the best Yu-Gi-Oh waifu. All
right, moving on to another momentum mon.
Silvally. Adding in Truman, Silvally, and Truman, for those of you who don't know where that name is from, it is from the 4th and undubbed season of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. It's like the main antagonist who took on many forms. He took on many forms of other characters, in which Silvally is master at with RKS and having all 18 types available to them. Thank you, NPL Silvally rules. Mwah.
Yep. And yeah, you have all forms, which is really cool. It forces you to run a memory most of the time, but access to Parting Shot. Pursuit, right?
Parting Shot, Pursuit, U-Turn, so another momentum gainer, multi-attack, which is a base 90 stab move all the time, depending on which memory you're holding. We have, it's also a very good, like, both, you know, because its base stats across the board are 31 or 95, as you guys can see. I was reading off IVs. 95 across the board, so it's not like a pixie, but it still holds up rather well. So it's a good special and physical attacker. So like Air Slash, Crunch, Dragon Claw, Draco Meteor, can even explode, can go like Boom, Choice Banded Boom. What I
really like about Silvally with your team is that while normally the 95 speed hinders it, you have webs, and as a setup sweeper with Swords Dance, it can actually do a lot of work. Because of multi-attack, and you make it whatever type you want to. And on top of that, it still has a base 95 special attack as well to utilize moves like Ice Beam, Flamethrower, Thunderbolt, anything like that. Exactly, Bolt Beam, Shadow Ball. You can use Rock Slide. You can use. Does it get Earthquake? I don't think it gets Earthquake.
No, it doesn't get Quake, but it gets like Flash Cannon as well for pesky fairy types on that side. It also gets Iron Head, so it can hit them on both sides, which makes it a little bit harder for fairy types to deal with it, because they don't know if they need to be physically offensive or physically defensive, especially defensive. And as well, like if I look down here as well, it gets Poison Fang, which is like a 50% chance to toxic your opponent. It gets access to like Steel Wing as well, which is something, but I mean, Metal Sound was something I saw that lowers the target's SPDF by 2.
Yeah.
So it gets some nice moves down in the coverage slot as well, which I feel like I can utilize really well, and I'm very happy about Silvally as a pick, because it helped me just cover in, like, you know, if I needed during team building, if there's a type I need that like helps me out really well, I can just be like, Silvally, I'm gonna need you right here with this typing. This is going to be your role.
I have no volt switch in.
Oh no.
Ground.
Silvally ground.
There you go.
I need a rapid spin blocker. Ghost. Problem solved.
Yeah.
I need what am I struggling with? I have too many mons weak to fire, for example. Water. Problem solved. Just
it's,
you know,
it's
as
a
an
lot
example.
like Arceus.
It's Arceus in the plates.
It's a lot like Arceus.
Arceus in the plates, but weaker.
Yeah, I just wish it got E-speed. That's like the one thing that I wish it got. It would have been amazing.
Great. It would have been great. But yeah, so transitioning from Truman and Silvally into my favorite nickname, just because of how dumb it is. We're transitioning now into Rhyperior. Would you like to attempt to pronounce it?
What? I can't do it. I can't.
This is Earthbound Immortal Kakapakapu.
Kaka. Oh my god.
Kakapak.
Oh my god, that's 5Ds, right?
Yeah, that's 5Ds in the Earthbound Immortals. This is Callan's Earthbound Immortal, the giant.
Oh my god.
I rewatched the 5Ds and I remember the Earthbound Immortals as I picked Rhyperior. This was the original that had a Yu-Gi-Oh name before I even decided on the rest. I was like, this thing is being named Kakapakapu no matter what.
That's amazing.
I know, it's great.
So we were just saying that we didn't really have a ground type on the team yet.
Switch in. Boom.
Yeah, exactly. And I think Rhyperior fits that very well. It's also an amazing sweeper with Rock Polish. It can do a lot of damage or Totemize. I think it gets Totemized as well.
It doesn't get a Totemized, so it would have been brought up here, but it gets Rock Polish, and it also has the, like, as mentioned with the Rock Polish set, you have Rock Polish Weakness Policy, which just instantly sets it up at +2/+2/+2. Not that you really need the special attack, but then you have, like, good covers like Aqua Tail, Avalanche, you have Dragon Tail for to send your opponent out. You have Earthquake, of course. You have like Edgequake, Poison Jab, Mega Horn. This thing gets Outrage, Ice Fang and Punch, Hammer Arm. A lot of good coverage here. Rock Slide, like I mentioned, Edge, a Stealth Rocker as well. Another like a rocker to my team that isn't Fortress. Superpower, really strong hitting. Mon and Thunder Punch. Another move to bring up.
Yeah. On the physical side, it's very hard to break this thing because of Solid Rock. It has base 115 HP, base 130 defense, so extremely difficult to deal with. On the SPDF side, you can hit it a lot easier, but again, Solid Rock is going to come a little bit. Lightning Rod, not really an ability that you want to use too often, but its special move pool is not the worst. Blizzard would be funny for you to run. Just want to put that out there now. Fire Blast is always fun for hitting things like Scizor. You can always run Fire Punch as well, but
Ferrothorn,
Ferrothorn as well. Yeah, and no, I like Rhyperior. A great secondary stealth rocker, I think, is the important thing here, because I think you only had Fortress.
Yeah, I only had Fortress up until I only had Fortress up until this point, and then I decided, hey, let us fix that, and while we're at it, let's get a reliable ground type.
Yeah, and this is also a Carney tier pick, guys. What this means is that because Dan drafted this on round 9 or earlier, but in this case it was round 9, it means that he can also get a final Carney tier pick as a bonus in round 12. So this gives him a 12-mon team instead of an 11-mon team, which is really fun.
Which is something that Aster, for those of you who don't know, like links will be in the description. You guys should definitely check him out. He really knows his stuff in Draft League format and is an absolute great guy. So by the way, check out his channel. I know I haven't mentioned that yet, but
thanks, man.
You're welcome. I realized I hadn't mentioned that until now, so good job me. But what is like in Aster's drafts, he has an 11-mon draft team because he decided that Carney tier was not something he needed. It is a 11 or it's a 7-week season, so the reason for Carney was like it's not necessarily good and needed there, but it adds on some value to some teams. Like I feel like it really helped me out with my last Carney tier, but there are some teams that definitely didn't need their Carney tier pick, so it's kind of like debatable, but I feel like I'm very happy that I ended up taking the Carney tier pick that I did.
Yep. Absolutely. And I'm really excited about the next one you got because I think that it fits your team absolutely perfectly. I've never seen a better team that it has been on up until now. So I want you to talk about it. Go ahead.
All right. So some of you guys may remember our TBU Season 3 was a very dark time in our Draft League career. We won against Eric and Mega Alteri of clicking return 6 times after 2 Dragon Dances. That was we don't speak of those times anymore. But yeah, so the next Pokemon was a Pokemon that many of you may remember from the St. Louis rivalry against the St. Louis Chatot. It was the MVP back then. As I called it back then, I think it was, I don't remember. I actually don't remember its name now, but we have Crow Hogan, master of the Blackwing monsters in 5Ds. Haunch Crow, which I forgot to give a Z Crystal. Hold on. My bad. There you go.
It's on your team sheet. There it is.
Yeah, it's on my team sheet, but added into the videos people see. But yeah, this is my last Z mod. I guess you guys probably have been waiting a bit to figure out who it is, but Honchkrow is my last Z mod, which adds up some very good value to me. For example, Supersonic Sky Strike off of Brave Bird, so I don't have to take recoil, and then push that into Moxie, so I just start continuously like setting up and hitting stuff really, really hard. You know, Honchkrow has an attack stat of 125, and even a very reliable special attack stat of 105, and also
with things like Heat Wave, that's fun.
Heat Wave and Icy Wind and stuff like that, and also has a base HP of 100, meaning that like I can EV it to get out of Sucker or Seismic Toss range if I want to do like a sub Honchkrow at some point, if I really want to try and do that. You know, also got Dark Pulse, which is reliable with special attack. Foul Play, so you can't really like set up on it if I want to go that route. Haste.
Now he won't watch this far, so I'm just gonna say it. But Fog. Look at Fog's team. He has a Chansey that you can set up a sub on, and then look at his team against Honchkrow.
What is a Honchkrow to the sub? What is it? What is Fog to a sub Honchkrow?
Exactly. Look at Kartana, just gets destroyed by
Heat Wave. Burn.
Burn. Infernape, Brave Bird, Cresselia, Dark Move. It's over. That's all you need. It's over.
Just sub, Dark Move, Heat Wave, and Brave Bird. Die.
Yeah, that's it. That's amazing.
And we have
but yeah, anyway, getting back to Honchkrow.
Also like Dark Neem Z Sucker Punch, because that doesn't get neutralized, so you have like a base 70 a Z move boosted Black Hole Eclipse, which if I recall correctly turns into like a base 120 or something like that. I'm not exactly, hold on, let me get you.
I think it's 140.
Base 70 sure base 75 turns into 140, correct. 60 to 65 is the 120. So yeah, 70 gets doubled up to 140, which is a base 140 dark type move. Stab coming from a Honchkrow. That is ouch. That is very ow.
Yeah. You're gone if you're not resisting. Pretty much, it's over.
And necessarily resist doesn't necessarily mean live either. So that's a thing.
Exactly. Yeah. Actually, Honchkrow has some pretty cool abilities. You did mention Spore, but it does get Insomnia.
It does get Insomnia. So I have another Spore switch in for another time as like for another potential one if I like I need to have a potential switch in right there. It also has Super Luck, so I can run like Scope Lens, Night Slash for guaranteed crits.
Yeah, that's so fun.
I actually did run that in week 3 of TBU against Monotui because he had a Cresselia, and that was like the only way I could figure out to break it down. Because back then my idea was like, it did actually do some rather nice work.
Nice.
But back then I was like, my idea for taking that crest was we hit it harder.
Yeah, exactly. No, that was a good nice strat there. I like that.
That was interesting.
Not the fastest mon, but let's remember
Sticky Webs.
Sticky Webs.
Webs
so this thing is a huge threat with Webs up because things that would normally outspeed it, like base, for example, base 108s, they get cut under Honchkrow's speed. So things like Keldeo, things like Infernape, they're all neutered. They're done under Webs. And another thing Honchkrow can just sweep through a team.
Another thing for Honchkrow as well, which is really nice for it. You notice that most flying types get this move. But if Honchkrow comes in on something that might potentially be slower or around on par, but has no needs of taking it down and needs to swap out, so if I force a switch, there is Tailwind, which can speed up my entire team and also make Honchkrow such a more formidable threat, because now it's like +2 speed.
Yeah, doesn't it also get Pursuit?
It is also a Pursuit trapper, so like if I'm trapping in like a bulky Psychic or something, or like a regular Psychic or anything like Weak to Dark, if they're trying to get out of there, you're just like, nope, come here before you go.
Get back here.
Like Latias trying to run, nope, come here.
Yeah, no, this thing is fun for sure. That base 100 HP is what makes it really good, because it's one of the mons. It's kind of like Embor in a way, where it doesn't take too much recoil from its Brave Bird, from it's a recoil move.
You're about to go reckless because Embor.
Yeah, exactly. But because it has such a high HP stat, it's not chipping away at itself as rapidly as Pokemon like, for example, Talonflame with its Brave Bird, Staraptor with Brave Bird. So Honchkrow is definitely really good in that regard. The only thing is that it's really frail, but it doesn't like priority, right? But he has a Serena.
Then I have Serena, who's like
priority.
Queenly Majesty, get out of here.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that core is really cool of Serena, Galvantula, Honchkrow, like these slower mons, well, not Galvantula obviously, but these slower powerful mons that have around this base 70 to base 80 speed, and that really get benefited by webs. So he's got his fast offense with Megalopony, Latios, I would even say Togekiss to some regard, and Silvally, and then he's got his slower offense. He's also got another faster one we're about to talk about, but his slower offense in Honchkrow, Rhyperior,
Volcanion.
Exactly, Volcanion, Serena. Those are all slower mons, and they all benefit extremely well from webs. So having it is not a bad thing at all.
Not at all, and I'm really happy with how the draft is so far. And this next pick for me, it was kind of a bit of a weird one. I wasn't really sure what I wanted, and I was just trying to get like a mon to pick up at the moment, and it kind of fits on my team. It kind of doesn't. It's a bit lackluster.
Fairy killer.
It's a fairy killer, though. It is a fairy killer, and not only that. Are you annoyed by those Amoonguses that you can't whittle down enough? Does the Heatran piss you off when you can't whittle it down by any sort of status?
Yeah.
Well,
absolutely.
Fear no more. Corrosion Toxic Salazzle. Allowing you to poison any type of Pokemon.
Yeah. The only problem with Salazzle is, what I really wish they had done was bulk, because it's really, really frail. It can't really...
Its ability suggests that it's supposed to be like a bulky Pokemon that is supposed to infect like poison and stuff on a lot of things. But instead we got a 117 speed, 111 special attack, 68, 60, 60 bulk reptilian.
Salazzle is extremely underrated in Draft League format, guys. Nobody's been using it very well, and I hope Dan shows off just how good it is, because he's not playing against me, so I don't have to deal with it.
You don't. Watch out for playoffs, Aster.
Yeah, exactly. I will watch out for that thing in playoffs, because this thing is a monster with its base 111 special attack. Sludge Wave and Fire Blast hit ridiculously hard, and because of the type combination that they hit almost everything. It's kind of like Lopunny. It's really, really scary.
Oh, you thought your Steel type was gonna stop me? Fire Blast.
Yeah, it's one of the only Pokemon, one of the only poison types that can actually deal with Steels. So the other one that comes to mind is Toxicroak. And even that doesn't like dealing with most Steels because they get access to ground.
And not only that, but the thing about Toxicroak is that like most Steels are rather physically bulky, so they take on the Drain Punches rather well. But the thing about Salazzle is that since it's a special attacker, those Fire Blasts really put a dent into the Steel types that try to switch into a Poison type move. Like they only come in to take the Steel move or the Poison move and then get out again because they can't stay in against this thing.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I love it. I feel as an alternative fire type to Volcanion, it's very good. It's great to bring. It's a lot more frail, obviously, but fast and frail seems to work a lot as long as your opponent doesn't have any kind of priority that can hit it back.
Serena.
We mentioned Serena. Yeah, just switching Serena on that priority. And,
now, I like how you mentioned, like, I don't know, 10-15 minutes ago when we first brought up Serena, you're like, I don't like this pick, and ever since we've mentioned it now, like for every Pokemon after it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it works well with what you drafted after it, but up until that point, it didn't make a lot of sense. But you really finished off this team.
But then I was like, okay, so Serena has a bit of an issue here. Let's make sure it fits in.
Yeah, no, that you did that excellently with Silvally, Rhyperior, Honchkrow, and Salazzle so far. And you didn't stop with continuing with the fire and water and grass, and
no, kept going. I made myself a new fire, water, grass core as well.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, so I didn't mention it yet, but Salazzle's nickname is Tanya because what I went for with the name was that in GX, a lot of my names are referencing GX specifically because it's my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh. It's my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh season or show out of all of them. And the reason why I went with Tanya was because how its Pokedex entries and stuff state that it creates basically what like a reverse harem. And if you remember from the Shadow Rider, the first arc of GX, Tanya made like basically every single man on the Dual Academy Island build a coliseum for her.
Yeah, I remember that.
So I felt like Silvally was, or not Silvally, Salazzle was a rather fitting Pokemon for that nickname. The original name was actually Tulopony, but then we realized that it fit better for Salazzle due to its behavior, and then we found something else for Lop.
For Lopunny, yep.
And also,
all right, last one.
Also, just before Jolt, Salazzle gets knockoff.
Wait, does it?
It does.
Oh, that's cool.
It's the only Pokemon. It's the only Pokemon on my team that gets knockoff. Like, I messaged Jolt on Discord just to bring that up real quick for you guys. I messaged him like, "What do you think?" I asked him what he thinks about my team, and he was like, "I like the beginning, but the end seems kind of a bit wonky, and then your lack of knockoff, like none of your Pokemon gets." I'm like, Jolt, Salazzle gets knockoff.
There you go.
So there you go, knockoff solved. Yeah, but no, the base 64 attack isn't doing anything. But I mean, if there's an open move slot for it, I mean, I can always slide it in there.
Yeah.
But so that is Salazzle. And now the last mon I have is my water type, which also is another absorber. You know how we have water absorb Volcanion? Well, say hello to double absorb Lantern, Mako Tsunami.
Nice. This is really cool because you only had one electric switch in thus far, which was Rhyperior.
And potentially Silvally Steed or Silvally Ground, but Silvally is super versatile in terms of what do you need as a ground or a switch in for anything really. You just make it the type that you need. But for Mako here, has Volt Absorb and Water Absorb, so two great abilities in which, depending on what matchup and what I need, can really support my like Togekiss and Haunch Crow, even my not Latios, but like the electric weak mons that I have Mako or Lantern to take the Thunderbolts or Volt switches, and Hidden Power Electric potentially if I scout that out, so I can have like a nice switch in there. Has really, really good bulk in natural and like HP, like 125. It's like boom, now I'm out of substitute range with 56 investments, and I'm out. Okay, general bulk, I suppose, like with its HP, 76 and 58 isn't bad. Of course, it could be better, but this is why it's a Carny tier pick. Like it's it's not like the best Pokemon, but it's really nice. And like it can be very annoying.
Hey, Dan.
Hey.
It gets stockpile.
It gets stockpile. It can set up its defenses, and it's also a cleric with heal bell, so Togekiss doesn't necessarily have to do that job.
Yeah, that's fun. I like that.
And its coverage is rather good as opposed to its 76 special attack, but you know, like Blizzard, Dazzling Gleam, Discharge, Ice Beam, Scald.
What's cool about Lantern is that you can also run it offense, and again, webs. Let's not forget about that.
Webs making up for the 67 base speed.
Yeah, but that 76 special attack with a Life Orb is actually pretty hard hitting, surprisingly, especially with its coverage with Scald, Hydro Pump, Ice Beam, Dazzling Gleam, like you said. If you can run this thing offensively, I'll be impressed in 7 weeks. But like honestly, most of the time it will be becoming a
defensive Pokemon to help. Another thing,
you know what my favorite set is?
Shoot.
Soak.
Soak Toxic with like Discharge or Thunderbolt or whatever you need.
Yeah.
I like that. Like I was hoping, because I have another set in mind that I find really funny.
Okay.
So if you're looking at Lantern's moveset and you scroll all the way to the bottom, literally all the way to the bottom, to the point where like the viewers can't even see right now because it gets Whirlpool Toxic.
Yeah.
Did you know that Volt Absorb Lantern with that set completely stops Rotom?
Yeah.
Rotom Wash is completely blocked. Rotom Heat is also completely blocked by it because it can't get out. It can't hit it for anything because its other like stab is resisted, and you're just kind of sitting there laughing in its face, waiting for it to die.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then if it tries to like Toxic or burn you or something, you have Heal Bell for support to support yourself as well, so you can just keep that up, and then you just watch it whittle away, and then goodbye.
Oh, it's fun, dude. It's a fun mon. It's really cool defensively because of all the different options that it gets. It's a lot more versatile in that regard than I think a lot of like defensive mons. You look at like a Powdon, you look at Donphan. Like I'm listing ground types obviously, but even things like Vaporeon and Jellicent, they're a lot less versatile in the different kind of things that they can do as opposed to Lantern. Lantern is a really good mon in League format, and I don't agree with it being a Carny tier because it actually completes a lot of really cool roles.
I was just sitting here like, nice deal, people. I'll take it.
Yeah, exactly. So very nice pick. Very, very solid. Like it.
But yeah, so that is the draft for the that is my draft for the NPL Minors NPL Minors division. Let me know what you guys thought of it in the comment section down below. As well, while you're at it, in the description, there's a link to Aster's channel. I'm probably going to have like an iCard as well, just to be sure to guys get it up. Be sure to check out Aster. He's an absolutely amazing guy. He's also in the NPL Minors this season. He is in the opposite division. So we're not playing unless we get to playoffs, both of us. So hopefully I'll see him there. But yeah, so definitely check him out, and then you can see like the other perspectives of games. So, you can see all the other people, and also check out Aster's draft analysis. I'll be sure to link that down there too.
What I'm going to try to do with my videos, I'm doing this in the GPC right now, but I'm linking everybody in the league's channels in all of my videos that are related to the league. So I'm going to suggest that to either Trev or Joel to see if we can do that. That'd be a really cool thing. All we need to do is keep one pinned message in the Discord chat, and we can continuously, just keep copy pasting it into our descriptions. So you guys can check out all of the coaches. I hope Dan does it on this video. If not, I'll be doing it on mine. You guys can check out all of the coaches. They're all really, really good. We have an amazing roster for this season of Minors, so I'm very much looking forward to how everybody's going to play, the crazy stuff that people are going to come up with. That's the cool thing about Draft League format. You don't see your common Landorus sets in OU. You see a lot of different interesting things that make you go, oh my god, That's definitely be sure to check everybody out in the description, everybody in the league. And that's it for me, I think.
Speaking of that fact of the oh my gods, I was helping someone mock today, and they brought C Mudsplat or Slap into Tectonic Rage to deal with a certain Pokemon.
Oh wow!
So that was like that was a oh my god. Okay, but yeah. So if any of this interests you, and I can also guarantee you guys, if I don't put everybody's in the description, I can hear Aster yelling at me and telling me to do it. But yeah,
no, it's fine. If you forget it, then you forget. I'll probably as long as mine is there,
I'll probably just snipe it off. I'll definitely have you at the top, and I'll probably like snipe the rest of your description or something down there to make it easier on me. Good. But yeah, so that's gonna be it for the video. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe to the channel to check out the NPL content coming every single week. Uploads on Thursdays, if I recall correctly. Yes, so correct. They're gonna be a bit of the middle of the week, but I'm still excited to share these battles with you. Team builders, all way up right now. You guys can let me know in the comment section what you think. I might do one for week 1 to see the response on it. And also subscribe to the channel and stuff, and subscribe to Aster. He's a cool guy. Check out everybody else if I remember to link them in the description. And with that being said, we're going to wrap up the video. Thank y'all for watching. Have a good day, and we hope to see you guys in our next videos.
Ciao!